Welcome back to the Surrey Report. It is June. I'm here with Shannon today. She's not going to give you any real estate advice because she's not a real estate professional. She's actually a client, and she's going to talk a whole lot about your first time experience buying a property. But first, as always, here are the stats from last month for the Surrey combined area.
Starting off with condos, the benchmark price is $399,200. That is up 1.7% year over year and down almost the same amount since last month. It's important to note that the Altus Group has redefined the benchmark calculation of Surrey combined condos. If you would like more information about that, please give us a call and we would love to help you out.
And in townhomes, benchmark price is around $578,000. That's a 0.5% increase month over month and a 2.1% increase year over year.
Hi everybody, here's the May stats for Surrey Detached homes. The HPI was $1,087,000, which is up 2.4% year over year. This is also down 0.2% month over month. There were 131 sales, virtually the same as April of 2020.
All right, Shannon, one of our most recent first-time buyers.
Okay.
Bottom.
Sure.
She's a little shy. It's okay. I got some questions for you because I think it's good for the public that's thinking about buying a property to hear from somebody who's actually just recently gone through it.
Okay, yeah.
Alrighty. So I have a list of questions. We'll go through them real quick, and hopefully this is value to some people out there. All right. So what made you decide to purchase, because you were renting, what made you decide to purchase a property?
Okay, I would say my scenario is probably a little different than most people that are looking to buy their first place. My boyfriend and I were renting, and we got our eviction notice. That was back in middle of October.
Yep.
So we got notice saying that our landlords wanted to take back, we were in their basement suite.
Yep.
They wanted to take that back for their kids to go into because their family was growing and getting older. So we had about 2 months. End of January is when we had to be out.
Okay, so you were being kicked out of your place, not because she's a bad tenant.
No.
You're being kicked out of your place because the owner wanted to take back. So this was not a long-term, like 5-year plan, I'm going to buy a place.
No, definitely. We were always knew that we wanted to buy, but we were sort of like, yeah, that's like in the future. Like, that's not right now. It's going to happen down the road.
And then your hand was forced.
So then we were like, oh, it was sort of like panic when that happened. We had been renting from them for 6 years. So
what made you decide to then buy rather than keep renting?
So the decision, we first wanted to rent. We were like, okay, let's look to see what's out there. Hadn't looked at the market in a long time. Shocked when we went to look. We knew that the prices had gone up. We had been in that for 6 years, as I mentioned. Price had never gone up.
The rental prices had gone up.
The rental prices had gone up, yeah. But like when we were renting, our rental price, they never increased the rent. I know.
So you were living in years ago rent.
Very lucky.
Right.
So when we went out and actually tried to look for a similar size unit, we noticed that the prices were a lot more than what we wanted.
Okay.
Even smaller units were a lot more.
Okay. So rental cost was too much?
Yeah.
So you thought you'd buy?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Awesome. Next question I have for you. Did you enjoy looking at homes, or was it a stressful process?
I loved it.
Really?
I love looking at houses. I'm one of the people that really enjoy looking at like the lottery homes. I like to see how people decorate, the different styles. My boyfriend, on the other hand, would be a little bit different. He enjoyed the process, but it also stressed him out a little bit.
Okay.
And what stressed him out was when our realtors sort of pushed us into that upper bracket of our budget, and looking at those higher prices, that's where he got a little bit of stress, but it also helped us realize what we were comfortable with.
Okay, and the realtor obviously is us, but Shannon worked with Chanani Pooney on our team as well. So it was a team effort, as it always is when you're working with us. Okay, how did you decide on the area that you eventually ended up?
The big key factors for us for the area was we wanted something that was central. As my boyfriend's in construction, he goes to different cities and works in different locations.
Okay.
Also, we only owned one vehicle, and we wanted to try to keep it that way for the little bit of the future.
Okay.
And I work in Vancouver, so we were moving out of the city, and we wanted to live somewhere that was either close to the SkyTrain or major bus routes.
Okay, so transit was a big factor for you. Awesome. What was the most unexpected thing that happened along the way, along your journey?
Okay, most unexpected for me was how quickly the process is once you put through the offer and it gets accepted.
Okay.
Just like that process went a lot quicker than I thought.
The subject removal period or the due diligence period?
Yeah.
I mean, in the Surrey market these days, in the Lower Mainland, 5 days is okay these days because of the whole COVID situation. It's actually longer at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Up to maybe 14 days, but it does tend to be just over a week and you bought a house.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, next question. What was the hardest or scariest part?
Okay, well, I'm going to have two answers for you, Steve. I have
Okay.
one as the hardest and one as the scariest.
Okay, two different things. That's good.
So scariest for both me and my boyfriend was when we put through the offer, that waiting period to see whether or not it was accepted. So that was
Okay.
sort of stressful and scary.
Yeah, because if you put in an offer, sometimes you don't hear back until the next day, or
Yeah.
even or negotiation may go on for a few days.
Yeah. And then the hardest process, it wasn't that hard, but I would say the hardest overall was just getting all of the paperwork and documents you needed to get your mortgage. And all
okay.
of that in order.
Okay, so getting the pre-approval and then all the finalizations for the subject of financing.
Yeah, because it was like it probably depends on who you get your mortgage through, but the people that we were dealing with, they were asking for bank statements, so we'd send that through, and then they were asking for like specific information on certain transactions.
Right.
So it was easy to find, it just was a longer process.
Awesome. Did you get absolutely everything you wanted?
I would say about 95 to 98% yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. So obviously expectations sometimes of what we can afford versus what we end up with can be two very different things. And you obviously got your pre-approval in advance.
Yes, we did.
Awesome. Because we would never let our clients not have a pre-approval. That's a side note. How did you know that this unit, and we're sitting in your townhouse now.
Yep.
How did you know that this unit is the one?
I would say from the moment I walked in and just walking through, I could just visualize myself living here. My boyfriend and I both came up with that, where it was like, yeah, I can picture myself living here.
So it was more of an immediate feeling of, yes, this is it,
Yeah.
rather than convincing yourself into something.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Looking back, are you happy with your purchase, or what would you have done differently?
100% happy with the purchase. The only thing that I would change is buy sooner.
Buy sooner, yeah. At like 2015 prices, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What advice, well, this is maybe, let's look for a different answer. What advice would you give someone that's starting to look for the first place?
Okay, I've already given some of my friends and my sister this advice, people that are thinking about buying. Number one thing is go to a mortgage broker, see what you can get approved for,
Okay.
so that you're realistically looking at what you can afford.
Awesome.
And then second piece of
It's a
advice.
sales pitch for me, it's easy, right?
Second piece of advice is find a good realtor that you trust and make sure that they're knowledgeable in the area that you want to buy.
No, really it is knowing what you're qualified for,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of people that are looking way too high, and there's even some people that are looking way too low, and they may not actually be seeing what they can actually afford when they go out and start looking. So know where you're at before you get into houses, especially these days with the whole COVID situation. It makes it really, really tough to get in and just look at any houses. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you having me here to your beautiful home that's now painted and new flooring and all sorts of other wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
We will see you next month. Thanks for watching the Surrey Report this month. If you're thinking about buying a home or know somebody that is, remember that our Informed Buyer's Guide is available for download on the purchasing page of our website, krproperties.ca. Thanks again. We'll see you next month. Look that way and smile.